What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be installing the pop and lock kit on my 2018 Tacoma. I've been meaning to do this for a while. It's really annoying to have to use your key to unlock it and lock it every time, and then sometimes you worry you didn't lock it and you don't want to get the tailgate stolen because they're not cheap. So I have Brian here with me. He's going to be helping me install this kit today, so we're going to kind of get ready with that. The tools you're going to need are going to be obviously the pop and lock kit, 2 trays because we have different size bolts in the tailgate, so you want to separate them, don't want to mix them up. Some scissors, hopefully a little better than mine, T30 screw driver or maybe a torque bit if you have one, some pliers, something to cut some wire with. We have a 10mm ratcheting wrench. We also have a socket just in case, a flathead screwdriver, something to cut wires with. I have this little kit just in case we need it. Maybe we need to extend or add anything else to the cables. Some, what are they called? Safety glasses. I was missing it. I was saying. Some gloves if you want, and probably some shade and some water if you're in Texas like we are, because it's hot. So let's get started. So the top section bolts are going to be a lot bigger than the bottom one, and that's what we're going to be using the 2 trays for, just to keep them separated, so that way we don't put the top one or the long ones on the top. So now that you have your cover off, we're going to go ahead and take this 10mm screw out of there, put it to the side, and then that's where we're going to put our lock mechanism on it. So let's pop the clip on the top, and then it's also held in place by this area. We'll pop that down, and then it'll give us room to work with the lock in there. Now with the bar out of the way, we can actually put our lock. We're going to do it upside down, and then make sure it's on the bottom, no, on the top hole. It's on the bottom hole. There you go. That's on open. And now we can put the 10mm screw that we just took out of the bottom. We have to put it back in there. Alright, so after we tighten the bolt on the bottom, we just went ahead and put the bar back in here just so we don't forget. We pop it back in, put it inside this, pop the clip back in. So now next we just need to do the actual wires. And to do that, we're going to pop the 2 covers back here. There's one here on this side, and then there's another one on this side. They should be able to just push in and out. It's a little tight spot, so you might have to use the flathead screwdriver or maybe the pliers to get them out. So let's pop those out, and then we can start drilling some holes into them. It's like slipping out of my hand. There you go. It just pops. We'll do the other side. So I can grab them. There it is. There you go. We got both of them out. Now we just need to pop them from the back. And to pop them from the back, you just use the flathead, put it in the middle, and kind of break them to the side a little bit. They're supposed to do that. As you can see, there's a clip here. Once you do that, they should be able to just come off the actual wire itself. Alright, so now that we got the 2 clips out, we're going to drill holes in it. So we're holding it from the bottom part of it. We're going to try to hold it that way, flip it around, and then drill the hole through the top. We have our drill with the 5/16 drill bit in it. So let's try to do that real quick, and then we'll be able to pass the cables through it. Alright guys, so we have the two plastic pieces now with holes drilled out on both of them. We're just gonna now feed our smaller cable through both pieces so we can put them right back where they were, and then run the wire through the bottom of the truck. So let's do that. So now that we have our cable run through both of the plastic pieces, now we're gonna run this to the back. We're gonna push it that way, and then we're gonna be able to clip this piece into the bed. Then we're gonna run the other side of it into the tailgate, so we can clip this piece into the tailgate. We have our wires out here, and then it's pretty simple. Obviously, blue goes with blue, and then green goes with green. Green goes with green. Can't talk this morning. We're gonna plug this in, put this back in here, and then we'll move into the underside of the truck so we can start running the cable towards the front where we need to hook it up. So now that we have our wires plugged in here, just don't forget to attach the actual factory wire into the plastic clip. Once you have it attached there, then we can push it into this side, so that way we have an exact almost factory connection like we did before. Same thing on the other side. You can push the cable back as much as you need, and then do that. Alright guys, we got the two clips pushed back in. We have the cable going through both of them. It's looking good. Here, I did try to use the factory clip to try to get this and keep it tight on this side, but the clip is a little too small, so don't even waste your time trying to get this one out. I'd say just grab a small zip tie it to this cable here. That way it won't be on the way, and then it'll just be nice and neat, and then we can move on to the next step and running this cable below it. Alright guys, so we're about to get on the under the truck now. As you can see, my cable is hanging right here. We're gonna plug this end into that one, and then start moving with the routing of the cable. So let me get under here. So if you can see up here, this is where our cable is coming out. We don't know how long the cable is right now, so we're just gonna leave it loose for the meantime, and then once we actually have it all routed and going towards the front, then we'll decide whether we want to try to pull this that way or just put it back in the tailgate and pull it as much as we can. So let's go ahead and route this cable. So plug is here. We're running it into the top of the frame, and then from the top it's going to go through the side, and then we're going to run it along parallel with this cable back here. We're thinking that way it's going to be out of the way for sure, staying dry as possible, and it's not going to get it, stuck on anything or be touching the exhaust or anything like that, so that should be good. As you can kind of see, might be hard to see, there's this cable that runs all the way over here too. That's right on top of the frame. We're gonna follow that cable with ours. We're gonna zip tie it, and then from this other side, from outside where the wheel is, you can see this cable on top. It's running right along it. We're gonna follow it, zip tie our cable to it, and then keep going through the bottom of the frame all the way to the front passenger door. Alright, so like I was saying, you're gonna run it through the frame. As you can see, the wire that I was using from the other side, from the bottom, is here. So I'm just gonna grab my cable, just be careful with the bed mount here, pull it on this side, so then I can zip tie it to the actual cable here, keep running it that way, and then do maybe another zip tie over here. Then we'll get underneath the car so you guys can see from that side. But it's pretty easy to get to this axis, and you can just zip tie it and keep running it forward. Cool. Okay guys, so this might be a little awkward to see, I guess, but when I pushed it through the top part, I went went ahead and got it behind this mount, but then I pulled it right back towards the front because the exhaust is on this side and we don't want to get, you know, close to that, get hot, melt away or something. So we put it on this side. This is like the cab, and it looks like a bump stop and some kind of, and then the cab mount, some kind of end here. So basically we're gonna run it in between the cab and the cab mount. There's enough space there. Also, if you can see here, it might be hard to see, there's a hole that we're gonna use to put a big zip tie there. That way it won't have any risk of moving towards the bed, towards the exhaust side of the bed, or towards the cab mount. After that, we just run it straight. We'll zip tie it over here, maybe along this line or along the top here. I think we're gonna zip tie it here, just so it doesn't move, and it has no risk of getting closer to the exhaust. After that, you just kind of keep moving it along the frame. You can see this cable goes all the way to the front. Brian's holding it over there, and we have to get towards the passenger side, because we need to go on this other side of the frame. There's a rubber plug on that side that we're going to show you here in a minute, that we need to use to get inside the cabin. So for right now, we're just going to start zip tying. Zip tie here, zip tie by the cab mount hole that I just showed you. Maybe a couple, 2 or 3 more zip ties along this cable, and then we'll move towards the front so I can show you the plug that we're talking about, that we're going to push it inside the cabin. So you can probably see from there, I got my cable running. It's loose. It should be out of the way. It shouldn't be touching anything with the exhaust on this side. You can see, you can see it from here. Then we have it zip tied right at this point, keeps running with the cable, and then zip tied over here. Now on the front, we run it to the other side of the frame. So from this side, moving along to this side, because we need to make a small hole here and try to get it inside the cabin through this plug right here. So let's go ahead and try to make a hole here so we can push it in. So right now we're inside the passenger side. We are gonna take this trim off. We're gonna take the floor mat out of here too, so it's out of the way. And then we're gonna take this piece off. To take this one, it only has a small kind of handheld screw. You take it out of the back, pop it off. Should be pretty easy. To pop this one, you should be able to just grab it and pop it off. So you can see it all kind of came off almost in one piece. This one. Alright, this one just pulls away from it. Mines were really stuck in there. As you can see here, I bent up a little bit. So hopefully they'll go back in there. No problem, just be careful with that. Plastic pieces are always like that. We can put that to the side as well. And then from here, might be a little bit hard to see, but you see the blue wire? That's the plug that we're gonna be coming out of in a second. For over here, the connector that we're gonna use is gonna be the one on the right. That's gonna be the one closest to the door. From the top connectors, there's 2. Go to the top one, the one that has 2 is gonna be the one on the right. That's the one that we need to splice into. So we need to take that one out. Oh, probably. There you go. We got that one out. But now that we're all prepped up here, let's go on the bottom, make a small hole, and then try to get our wires through that plug. Okay, so I'm on the bottom. We're gonna grab your blade, make a small hole in here. So you can see we cut our small hole in there, and then we're just pushing our cables through. Then we'll come up here and we should be able to grab them. I think I pushed them a little too far in. We are going to grab those cables, and there it is. We're gonna go ahead and bring all our cable in here, make sure it's all the way in, because we can always just put the excess inside of the truck. There you go. Now our cable is nice and inside the truck. And we can move on to the actual wiring. Alright guys, so we're gonna probably cut this wire just because it's too long. We measure how it would be going here, and then we're just gonna cut a little bit above it just to be on the safe side. But we're also gonna put it through these clips. They are really easy to take off. Basically, you just use your screwdriver, pop the side of it, and then just pop it out. They should be able to come out. And then we can put them in there, close it back down, and then that way it stays like factory in there. So we're gonna grab our cable, we're gonna cut it here, and then we're gonna start splicing into our harness down here. Alright guys, we got our wires all routed. We have the top cut and spliced now. We're gonna grab our splicers that came with the kit, and we're gonna hook it up to our existing wire. It's gonna be pretty simple. The green goes with the green, and the blue goes with the red. There is a blue in this wiring harness, but do not attach it to that one. The blue needs to go with the red, so keep that in mind. We're gonna go ahead and attach those to this, and our wiring should be done for the most part, I believe. Now we just need to go back to the tailgate, make sure we pull that wire that we had extra into the tailgate, and we can test it out. If everything works, we should be good to bolt everything back up and should be done. So let's do it. So we got it all spliced into our cable now. Now we just need to grab our keys, which I left them back here, and make sure it actually works fine. You heard that? Let's open. Close the door. Close that door. We'll close this door real quick. And that's locked. Doesn't open. Unlocked. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's working good now. It's locking. Unlocked. So it's all working good. Now we just need to pull the cable here because we left it a little loose on the other side just in case. We need to put this cover back up. We need to put the covers from the inside of the passenger seat. But it's a wrap. That's all. It's done. We don't need to do anything else. It's fairly easy. It's a lot easier than maybe what it looks like here. The routing just takes a little bit just because you have to go underneath and put it through the frame. But it's an easy mod. It just took us a little bit.
10 out of 10 would do it again.
Yeah, it's probably a really helpful mod. You should do it. That way you don't have to carry extra keys or having to worry about your tailgate. So I think it's worth it. So I recommend this. So hopefully you guys can use this video as a guidance, if anything, to do it on yours. But that's going to be all for us. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.